What's up everyone? I'm back. How you doing? Covid-19. There's so much I could say about this. Okay, before I go any further, I can see the Western media is praising China for containing the virus, and as if this is some kind of model for a government.
Jake, answer that question straight away. That model from China and that region, how easy or not to replicate in the West?
You know, it's obviously had a lot of practice containing things like free speech and human rights. So also we don't actually know what they're doing. We don't know what's really going on. There's no transparency.
These measures may have prevented up to hundreds of thousands from being infected, according to the WHO. And China's sacrifice and efforts rendered a service to humanity, said UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres.
Taiwan, however, has transparency, freedom of speech and human rights, and it's doing an amazing job of containing it. This is actually what we should be aiming for, this kind of model. I'm not in Taiwan, so I don't know exactly how Taiwan's doing it, but I can imagine everyone's wearing their face masks and checking temperatures and cleaning their hands. This is right now, it's like the survival of the most GP, OCD person. England is getting serious. I think people here are not taking it very seriously and comparing it to the flu, and I think it's going to be really bad in England in about 5 days, lockdown in about 5 days time. But we will see what happens. Nobody is wearing face masks and I don't see people checking temperatures. The London Underground does not have much cocktail. There's not much air moving around in the underground train, and I'm pretty sure that is a perfect place for the coronavirus to spread really quickly. So I'm expecting London to get really bad really soon. I think the most interesting part of this whole coronavirus is the videos that came out of China of people demanding free speech and dissatisfaction with the government and people going missing and this kind of thing. It's really hard to tell what's going on from the outside, but it's even harder to tell what's going on when you're on the inside, which is amazing but obviously deliberate. Now I'm sure if we're getting these videos out here that it's much worse than what we see, because I know in China not many people have VPN. The amount of people that can speak English properly in China is far lower than Taiwan. The chances of stuff getting out are quite low. I think a very common conclusion for a Westerner or even Taiwanese people, I've seen Taiwanese people saying this too, is that this must mean there's going to be a revolution or a kickback against the CCP and they're going to lose their grip on China. I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think this is delusional thinking. I would have thought the same thing too if I hadn't lived there. Chinese social media apps are designed in such a way that it's very hard to know what is going on in other parts of China. You would never know if your dissatisfaction is felt even by the people in the city across from you, let alone another province. Now, it would be absolutely impossible to organize a nationwide protest. Even if a protest did kick off, I think it would be quelled and no one in any other city would find out. People often underestimate how skillfully the CCP have controlled the internet. I don't believe anyone other than the people who are actually censoring the information really know what is going on. If you think the coronavirus will cause tensions and dissatisfactions within the Chinese population that will spark an uprising and an overthrowing of the CCP, first consider this. In Mao's Great Leap Forwards, somewhere between 45 million and 60 million people were killed or died from starvation. This was completely due to the Communist Party. This was not a random catastrophe like a virus, but Mao was not overturned. Not only that, the Communist Party in power then is the same Communist Party that's in power now. So they stayed in power and survived that, learnt their lessons from it, and are still in power now. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to click like, it would really help me get the video higher up the algorithms. Also, you can subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and if you would like to support me on Patreon, the link is there. Okay, see you next time guys. Peace.